What is wrong with everybody? These are memories frozen in time, people!
In half a mile, your destination will be on the right.
Turtle Creek, huh? Bruce Willis Bar and Grill.
This is morning.
There you go.
That's when I spend the most time thinking about what I've given up.
Oh my God. How do you know none of
This is warning. When you start the day, just close curtains. You're thinking about what I've given up.
Your destination is on the right.
Through the stereo, I'm writing you a symphony of sound. As we rearrange the songs again, this leads to burn already won. But it was you I was thinking.
What's up, Trouble?
What are you doing?
How are you?
Okay.
Yeah? How was your trip out? Okay. Good.
Some days are harder than others.
Yeah.
But how are you?
So, God dang.
Got a bug on the front.
I know, I got about 12 million of them.
If you got another. Somebody else.
It's not me. Hi! You
Made it?
We made it.
You look hungry.
Me? Yeah. It's in the car for 2 days.
One side of your face.
One side of your face and the whole front, depending on where
You guys grew
you're driving.
Were Chip and Harriet coming, or? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I think they were just gonna come
Come to the lodge. Oh, okay.
Chip is treating us to pizza.
And I didn't know if that was at his house.
Yeah, it's
The
probably.
lodge.
You have one of those shirts.
Yeah, that was from the last getaway.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You have one of these. You want it? I've got it at my house.
I brought mine somewhere.
Is that the one that?
From the
From
shower.
the shower, yeah.
I don't know if I grabbed mine or not.
I didn't grab mine.
But tonight I wore it like a week ago.
I wear mine often.
All the time.
What time did you guys leave?
Did you get my message? Lisa texted and she got a text.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
What?
So the house got rented, so we might get everything back. Mine. Yeah.
What? Cool.
One of the Airbnbs, we canceled it past the deadline because we have a group not coming, so
Oh,
we canceled it and we got 50% back, but he said if the house rented by the weekend, he might give us it all back, so.
You should have seen her car.
It's a long way.
You ought to see what's in it.
Drove up
When you
and
see
stayed at
that.
Ferry's and
Decorating.
All those decorations.
I
It's
was
all in
looking down,
their
I
car.
couldn't see an inch
Plus
out
some
of it.
stuff, teaching stuff for
I
Sarah.
brought a,
I couldn't believe it.
you come all the way from Ferry's about something?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I was
Got it.
planning on, I said, okay, I'm gonna go from Port A to Perry's, because that's about 8 hours. And then from Perry's to York, because that's about 8.5. And then from York to Tulare, it's about 5.5. That was my plan. But when I left Perry's, I got to York and it was like 3:30.
Oh,
And
no,
I'm like, oh,
stopping.
no.
Yeah, then just.
Just kept
So
going.
then I thought, well, I'll stop in Columbus.
Is that, are they close?
They should be getting here probably about 9, so maybe like 3 more hours.
So,
Mason and Zach and Brittany.
Well, they
Mason's
can
program.
get time
I
too.
think Red's probably coming in around that time
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's what she had texted and said, probably 9 or 10.
Did they leave today then?
Yeah.
Well, they're about 11, ain't
11 or 12.
tonight? Oh,
Just more like the coolness.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really
I'm doing good.
Working, sleeping in.
We're down.
I work and sleeping in, I practice.
Yeah.
Something because we figured
Because it's usually around
Yeah,
5 or
there,
something.
yeah.
I can sleep now.
I don't know where everybody will tuck in. We can just figure it out.
Right.
then I
There's
think I should
Yeah.
just take
Carrie
that.
and
I don't
say we kicked one of
have
the
to
kids.
work.
So look at that.
I was looking at,
Carrie and one.
You see him in the reflection?
ooh,
Yeah, reflection.
fine. You looking at Ian or what? No, oh, I'm looking, oh.
Is that a room?
No, it's over.
No, it's
On
like
the
a
other
common-
side.
I think that's like a common ring that looks like.
Yeah, so it can move.
Yeah, we could be sitting in there.
What are you?
We had no bugs out here or nothing.
I know, it's nice. I'm not upset about the outside porch situation.
Yeah, because it's, we would all have to fill out the little questionnaire on the iPad. So by the time we all got it done, it'd be time for her to go to her room. The last person in and it's time to go.
Yep,
So Mark couldn't get around or what?
he's not getting around very good. Oh, what's that?
The camera.
Camera.
Up to camera?
Wave at the camera.
Oh, is it
Is
going?
it going?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going. It's videoing us.
Oh.
Video.
We're gonna have a movie later,
Yeah.
scary movie.
I was literally just, and she said, oh yeah, just tell him, text your brother, tell him the door will be unlocked and I'll put a key in the room. And I'm like, that's safe? I was like, oh yeah.
This is
I was
Miller.
like, okay.
There's 1,000 people
I
here.
checked in. I
We'll be able to find you.
Right, but that was before I got your, I mean, I was literally, I had just walked in. and-
So
I
what
mean,
are the
we
rooms
didn't-
like?
We didn't know if we were leaving this morning and gonna be here later
Right.
tonight or.
Well,
There's
that's, Craig said he
27.
thought you were leaving
Yeah.
after
That's
work
like everything
today, and I'm like,
in
you're
Hunter's
gonna
like
drive all
193
night,
people.
and
I'm
you're
like,
like
why
at
leave
5
on the
o'clock in
side?
the morning and sleep for
Like-
4 hours?
I don't think they just stand
We
outside
don't
and
do
wait.
that.
Paraded everybody.
Like Zach's
Those
never
days
been to
are
a town this
gone.
small.
It's
gonna be like,
they're old rooms, but
That's amazing. Oh, jeez. They're getting big, aren't they?
that's what Marissa
All
said.
your
Walked
grandkids
in
are
and
big,
said,
huh?
no, you're
Yeah.
a grown human.
Great grands.
You said,
Yeah.
whole of them.
all
Great
adults.
grands
We
are
have 2 more
big.
years to go
Yeah.
till he's actually an adult. No. It's weird. That's how I feel too.
Yeah.
There's no way he's almost 18.
Time flies.
It really
Yeah.
does.
Time flies when you're having fun. It flies even when you're
Even
not.
when you're not.
It just
Well,
flies
faster
by,
when you're.
regardless.
And it must be flying by for you. You don't have any fun.
I don't have any fun. I'm not allowed to have fun.
Nobody's fault but your own.
Party pooper Paula.
Huh?
Party pooper
P,
Paula.
P, P.
said, you got the 5 Ps, I have 3 Ps.
No.
Marty Cooper Paula.
Fire plane
Paula told me that, but I said, well, mine's 7 Ps. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
I mean, even at the hotel last night,
All right, we got cable.
Couldn't find
there's
anything.
nothing on.
Ask her what we watch at night.
Got one episode of Gunsmoke, 1 or 2, and then we go to bed.
The first one is an hour, the second, and it's a newer
It's
one.
the new one, and then the next one,
The next one's
that's
an old
one,
one.
they had-
and it's the black and white first one.
There's a new Gunsmoke?
Well,
Well,
it's
no.
still James
Oh.
The next one that is black and white.
because that
One has
series
Festus,
ran
one
for
has,
like 3 decades, so.
I thought maybe there was new people.
Yeah,
that was a
No,
new version,
no, it's
a
real,
remake.
it's real fabulous.
Oh, it's in color.
Who's the one with the stiff leg?
Chester.
Chester.
And then who's the old guy?
I know nothing about Gunsmoke.
The doctor?
With the weird eyes? That's Jack Hill. I like him. What is it?
It's just a leaf or something. I thought it was a bug, but it's a leaf.
No.
Sitting outside.
Yeah. The flowers are pretty.
I know it's really pretty out here.
I said, I need to come and pull some weeds out of the rocks.
I got to go into Grandpa and Grandma's house yesterday in Burdett.
Really?
Yep.
How did you do that?
Marissa, asked Marissa, I said, 'cause we've been telling stories about everything. I said, look, when we go home from Miller to Paula's, let's go through Burdett. So we went through and there was some guys out there on motorcycles. And so I was like, well, we can't snoop around. So we just got out, parked on the street and walked over, and I was showing her like the store and just kind of talking to her out there. And one of the guys
The
walked
store's
in.
gone, right?
Huh?
It's gone.
Yeah, it's imploded into the ground. So, and then one of the guys came over and said, well, come on over. The guy that owns the place, he just pulled up from California. Come meet him. So I went over and met him, and he was super, super nice. And he just said, come
How long
on.
does he live there?
He does, it's
It's his hunting place. It's his hunting
Oh,
cabin.
okay.
And then he's got family around here, and he comes and helps combine, helps farm.
he said because I said, do you rent it? I mean, like for a hunting lodge? And he said, oh, no. He said, it is I have residency here. And so I will come and stay a couple of months, but then all my grandkids are in California. So I had to go back and get a grandkid fix, and then I'll come back for a month or 2. And so he just said he's back and forth. But I think he bought it from his uncle.
I think so.
So I think he's probably had it like 3 years, and he's
I think
super.
he's had it a little
So
longer.
it's
now.
gotta
Yeah,
have
5 or
changed,
6,
right?
Okay.
At least.
Well, yeah, I was like, does it still have the pass-through in the kitchen? And
Yeah, is it still the same?
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I was so fired up and excited, and I told, because he said, because I was telling him we were having a family reunion, he said, well, tell everybody to come by. And I said, well, you may have, some people may take
So
you
you
up
don't
on
know
that.
what
He
you're
said, well, my
asking.
feelings will be hurt if they don't.
Volunteer
So I was
for.
telling Harry and Paula, and they were like, nope, don't want to go. I want to remember it as it was.
Yeah.
So.
I said, does it have a door on the bathroom, or
No,
is
it
it still a
doesn't.
curtain?
There's no curtain, it's just open, I think. Wasn't it just open? I don't
I
remember a
didn't go in
curtain.
the bathroom, so he might have had a door on it and it just opened to the inside, but there wasn't a curtain on there.
Huh.
There weren't doors on it.
The only thing that's majorly different is when you walk in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So like the metal sink is still there to the left. There's no cabinets in there, which I think they were metal cabinets anyway that were in there.
No, they were wood.
Okay. So
That
it's
broom closet was white wood.
It's kind of a washroom in that part, and they built, like where the window goes through to the dining area, that's still there, but just past the window there's an L, so that's where like the oven and the stove and so they, instead of the big dining table like Grandpa and Grandma had in a buffet, they have a smaller dining table. Yeah. And there's a big wood stove against the wall between the between the living room and the master bedroom. There's a big burning stove there. But the doors are still arched.
I figured you changed.
I think I think the floor's still the same.
Oh, come on. That's a long time ago.
He said he didn't change it.
But he's only owned it for 3 years.
Well, Craig said he's owned it longer than that.
I don't think that. He lives right by me.
Really?
His kids go to high school.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Isn't that small world? He told me that. He said,
How long is he gonna be here?
He comes for a while.
He said he was gonna only be here 2 days.
Oh.
But he said he does not lock it. So
Even when he goes back to California?
that's what he made it sound like. He said, so if you ever come by, just go on in.
That's crazy.
But he even said for the next 2 days, if y'all go out there, he has an old Bronco that sits kind of where the windmill, in front of the windmill. So he said, if our motorcycles may be here, but if the Bronco's gone, then that means we're gone out and about, but tell them to come on in and make themselves at home.
He's a super nice guy.
He was
Yeah,
super.
I'd be afraid to be shot.
I know.
Well, and that's what I told him. I said, well, you need to let Doris know across the street because she straight runs me out of here every time I step out of my car. So.
Yeah, we went over there one time and got, you don't need to be here.
What did he say about Doris?
And he,
They ignore it?
yeah. He said, you just tell her that I told her. Dennis, is that his name?
Yes.
You just tell her Dennis said you could.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't know if you know this or not. And he said,
I think that's when I was with you or something. Maybe.
He said, I don't know if you know this or not, but he said, when my uncle still owned the store and it was up, I mean, it was dilapidated, but it was still standing. He said, historical people came and they wanted to know if he would give them the store and they were going to refurbish it and make it a historical landmark, and he told them no.
That's terrible.
And that's what he said. He said it made a lot of the family sick.
Yeah.
Because now look at it. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, gee.
yeah.
And they were probably thinking, we don't want all those looking new garments here.
If the Garmans are fine, it's the Schultzes that you don't want.
Those rowdy. Oh, shoot, yeah.
But yeah, the outhouse, the garage, Grandpa's birdhouse still above the garage, and there's birdhouses on
Is
the
the wash
tree.
house there?
Wash house is still there, and that's what I told Marissa. I said that it was a screened in, but I said it's not. He said, well, it still is. He said,
Windows are open.
yeah. He said he put the bottom part he made wood, but the top part is still screened, but it has wood, kind of like storm shelters. I mean, when he's not here, he puts the wood up on there, but he said they come out and it's screened. I looked in there and there was a picnic table in there, and it still looked the same inside. I mean, the studs and.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder if Rich was in. I would have reckoned Curtis, but I don't know.
Okay, so we're having a shower, and it's a camp thing. It's
And we didn't bring a gift? Is that what
No, you don't have to. It's gonna be. We're gonna do cards, and we thought we'd do a money tree because Brent said they didn't want any gifts because no shower gifts because they're combining 2 houses into one and they don't need anything. So I said, well, we'll do a money tree or something. But we're playing games because it's a camp thing. And so during the games, so that we can split the teams up, it's going to be Team Brett, Team Tom, Team Father-in-law, and Team Mother-in-law, and y'all are going to pick the teams. So we're going to have 4 teams competing in games.
And what kind of game?
So what are these games?
Yeah, I gotta know the game. So I know
There's the
thing.
camp director. Her and Zach are the camp
It's a
director.
secret?
We can't give you all the information because then y'all will try to be strategic and plot.
I will be amazed if you get Matt Schultz to play a game.
Matt's he's playing, by God. I bought him a bandana.
He's on your team.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds like a
Make you get up, Mom.
We'll leave you outside. We'll leave you outside for. You can sleep right here.
What?
We'll leave you outside. You can sleep right here in this chair.
Oh,
You're gonna have to know. So.
okay.
make you go in the house.
Oh,
darn it.
You sit too long? This way.
Yep.
And we'll all see you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. So, you guys are going?
We're going.
No, yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Do y'all
We'll
want
let
to
you
go
get some
into
rest.
her little room?
We'll be back tomorrow. I didn't bring it.
Okay.
Do they require masks inside?
Yeah. They have masks.
But they have
there.
masks by the door. And then I have a bunch of masks
You gotta check
over
in with
tomorrow.
them like that.
Tie-dye
Have you been in
mask.
here lately?
No,
The residents don't have to wear them because they're all vaccinated, but everybody else.
no, that's fun.
Think of that.
Going to the lodge?
Yeah,
Yep.
sounds good to me.
Yep.
Yeah. So waiting for Evan to get done working. Don't wait up right here.
Oh,
I guess
How long a drive is it?
not. Whoop. Well, with those two,
Yeah.
it's like 5 for us.
Really happy with that.
it's like when I drive anywhere.
Should've brought your scar.
It's like to my house, I think it's like 200.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
I'm gonna need you to help me keep my balance.
Just slowly sit on it. Don't move. Keep laying.
That's
If it doesn't fall in here, it ain't gonna fall.
We hug here. Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
What's
going on, Terry? How you doing?
Oh, I don't have any.
Good to see you.
I know.
So he's trying to be corporate now, huh?
Over, right? Hello.
How are you?
So good. Good to see you. Woo, I'm tired. I'm good. What's going on? What's going on, boys? Good to see you guys. Brett, Tom.
How long have you been driving?
Hello. 12 hours? What's going on? Yeah. We did like 4 hours yesterday.
Welcome to South Dakota.
Made it. Feels good over here. Weather's nice. Freaking hot. Woo! Get my eyes open.
She's lying to you.
Hasn't met Craig yet.
You get scared.
I can't speak for my siblings.
Good to see you.
We don't know how to be on our best behavior.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
How are you, man? Good to see you.
Hey, you have some mics going, baby.
Conrad, this is Tom.
There you go. Really cousin. You okay?
Go all the way from San Antonio?
Oh, I see your husband gets here, so now you decide to come outside. Do you just stay as far apart? Good to see you.
How long was your trip? Did you guys do it all today? No way.
We did like 4 hours yesterday to Gainesville, and then we drove up like
The rest of it.
12 or 13 today, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We did half yesterday. Well, we did like 9 hours yesterday and then
Yeah.
6 today or
Hell
something.
yeah. Yeah, listen. I mean,
It could be worse.
it could be way worse.
Could be worse. I'm like, oh, now we just have a few hours to get to our other destination on Sunday.
Yeah, how far is that? I don't even know.
We're in Spearfish, I think. So
Yeah.
I want to say it's like 4 hours or something, maybe.
Oh.
I think.
Well, that's not almost done.
Mr. Mason, sir, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I ain't screwed the day up too bad yet, but I still got time.
Yeah, we do. Good to see you. Good to see you. Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
I'm the favorite.
Are you guys still staying?
They're tired.
It's been a rough 2 days.
And they were like 3 hours late.
They had shenanigans the whole way. Why
This
Sarah
is
was
why
like,
you
"Guys."
give it. We give them a map. The map had been in my car. It moved from one car to the next to the next.
It's an old map.
He was 20 years old.
Good luck, kids. Navigate your way.
And they found us anyway.
That's how you build character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We come across. We come up from the little highway coming up from North Platte, or from North Platte to Valentine, then up into Murdo. And the old highway was more whoop-de-doos than this one here. And Joaquin was getting air, and some of those. Marjorie was asleep in the back seat.
Well, thank goodness she was asleep. She would have been having a heart attack.
Yeah. And I said, wait a minute, you're going to come over one of these hills and there's going to be a farmer and a tractor in the middle of the damn road.
You're not going to be able to stop. It's going to be a problem.
It's going to be a problem. So, anyway. In Wyoming, they were giving Evan swirlies in the toilet. I didn't find out till later.
Family outings. Just building that character left and right.
Yeah. There's some great volleyball games in Wyoming, though. That was,
Yeah. We kind of gave up on the volleyball for some reason. I guess we got too old.
That's just hard on you, man.
We used to play a lot of volleyball.
everyone. My wrists are gone.
Volleyball's now it's a cornhole type situation.
Yeah.
It's a little easier. You stand in one place, you toss the bag.
Sure.
It's a little more low key.
Yeah.
Still serious, but more low impact sport. But yeah, now these kids, we have like 360 on them. And
Oh, yeah, 360. That's quite the deal.
their school's not close either, and then each and it's never running together. You know, if they email us, they call us. If they don't, we get that immediate. Here's the 17 ways we can communicate with you. It's like, dang it. Off to school I go. Hi ho, hi ho.
I can turn the airplane mode on.
You can, but I'll get an email and I can check your attendance online and I get a phone call. It'll all be over for you anyway and it won't even be worth
Lisa
it.
put me at 360.
They don't
on
call
me.
for 1 year's day.
I told him I'm going to do
We're
that
gonna
shit
put
to
it on
him.
him.
I'm not even joking. See? Craig gets like 360.
Put it on me just before I left.
Yep.
Really?
See?
And
You just
That don't bother me, but I just, like someday I got. I don't give a shit.
I don't think Perry will actually care if we know where he is. He'll just get annoyed with our notifications about where we are.
Well, if you just turn
We
off
can just shut off his
notifications.
notifications.
Yeah.
I just get worried because you're by yourself. And then,
I worry sometimes too if I die and nobody comes around for 4 or 5 days. Yeah, my dog
Fall down, yeah.
having me for lunch.
That's true. They will eat you fairly rapidly. They don't wait too long.
So I would say you're going. like a
I'm pretty sure
and socializing and having a good time. Before we eat, we'll go around and I'll start. Maybe introduce ourselves, introduce our family. Who are you a descendant of from Gustav and Merritt Olson? If you haven't gotten your picture taken yet, hopefully we can get your picture taken and put it up there with the Polaroid. My name's Mary Copeland, and my mom is Amy Amarellis, who is the daughter of Charles and Maddie Olson from Burdett. My family that I have with me, would you please stand? Please. That's Father Adrian. My husband Mark, my daughter Marissa, her husband Zach, my son Mason, and his girlfriend Brittany. And we are all from Texas. Mark and I are from Port Aransas. Marissa and Zach live in San Antonio, and Brittany and Mason live in Round Rock. Interesting fact about Brittany, does anybody drink Shinerbach beer? Shiner beer? Does that have to be bought? Her grandfather is the brewmaster. So that's me. Somebody else comes up and take over. Perry. I pass it to Perry.
I'm the number one son, but two in line. Number two. No, I'm Perry Garman. This is my family.
Hello.
Willie's my oldest.
Oh, stand up. Not you, not you. Why not?
Yeah, and his wife, Ginger, and his daughter, Reagan.
Hi.
Grace. And John, my youngest in the back. His wife, Lindsay. Ian, and Owen.
Yay.
We all live, We got some defectors that went to Colorado.
I still claim Texas though.
So Willie's family's from Colorado, or lives in Colorado.
Yeah.
John Owen and his family are in Fort Worth. And I'm up at Lake Texoma, right on the Texas-Oklahoma border.
Yeah.
So I'm retired. I'm her older brother. So I'm Charles and Maddie Olson's grandson. Amy's my mother.
I'm Craig. I'm here by myself. Mom, Amy's my mom. Grandma and Grandpa Olson, Charlie and Maddie. So my family's just I'm in California, and it was just didn't work out this year for my family to be here, and they're not happy about it, but that's the way it goes sometimes. It just didn't work out this year. So I'm here by myself. So there we go. I'm the oldest of the best looking. I'm the oldest of the youngest.
Okay, I'm Mike Garman, Amy's best looking son. Only one that is not retired. I don't understand that. But anyways, this is my wife, Susan, and this is our daughter, Brett, and her fiance, Tom. Our other daughter is Elena, and we hail now from Colorado. We live in Pagosa Springs, Southwest Colorado, and Brett lives in Colorado Springs, and Elena lives in Wellington, which is outside of Fort Collins.
Yeah.
And Amy's my mother, and we're happy to be here. Happy to give her that chance.
I'm Paula, Amy's favorite. Amy's my mother, and Maddie and Charlie are my grandparents. And this is my husband, Mark.
The next guy.
The next guy. This is my daughter, Michelle, and her husband, Jason, and their son, Lauren. And then Sarah is my daughter, and Dan and their daughter Cambry. And this is my son Matt, and that's my son Emmett. And we're all from South Dakota. Rapid to Sioux Falls. Yes. And in between in Sturgis.
All right, Chip.
Want me to?
Yep.
I'm Dwayne Chipman. My mom was famous. And that's my wife, Harriet. My daughter, Ashley. My daughter, Haley. Haley lives in Rochester, Minnesota. My daughter, Ashley, and her husband, Jay, are here. Close.
Bugging them all the time.
Pretty close. Sometimes too close. My little granddaughter, Adley. And this little outlaw over here with the black cap, Adrian. He's always got to be busy doing something, or he's not happy. Yep. But I'm the only local one here. Everybody else scattered. So my mom, I guess I should blame that on my mom because she stayed here too. We lived up when I was growing up. We lived on the farm up by Burdett. We were only 5 miles from Burdett at that time. And then in 1965 we moved to Millet and been here ever since. So it's been a long go. But it's been fun.
And to remember the Olson family, we gave Adrian that middle name. He's Adrian Olson Winter.
Sister Joanna.
Passing the torch. Tag you're in.
Take care of her family.
I'm Dwana Kolda. This is Marcy Timmerman, Giselle Brew, and her oldest son, Preston. I have another boy, another child, I should say, only boy, Kyle, and he's a fireman, so can't come. But we're all in kind of the Sioux Falls area, Chancellor, Sioux Falls, and we had an acreage down by T, kind of moving into Sioux Falls and over. But Charlie and Maddie were grandpa and grandma, and we lost our mom just before the pandemic, which maybe for her was a blessing because she'd have hated to be all boarded up and nobody seeing and all everything. So we lost her in January of 19. So glad everybody come. This is really nice. She would have loved this.
Yes, she would have.
I'm Adele, my wife, Olson, and my daughter, LaDawn, and her husband, Ernie. I never picked him, so. Don't blame me. We live in Eagle Grove, Iowa. The summer, we live in Lake Havasu, Arizona in the winter. They lived in Vegas and are just moving now to Ames, Iowa. So, and their son moved to Ames. Everybody that was coming got COVID for time to leave, so it's just the four of us. And Charles and Maddie were my grandpa and grandma.
And Paul was your dad.
Paul was my dad.
He was the oldest, right? Paul was the oldest.
Yeah, well, next Mary.
Mary, that's right. Oldest boy.
Who wants to lead off under Oscar's crew?
My baby sister, Maureen, then Marlene, Marilyn, and me. We have 3 brothers, 2 in Rapid City, Ray and Kenny. And Benny lives on the hotel farm outside of Yale still, so we're all here. We live in, everybody lives in South Dakota, except our kids. They kind of got out of the way. But, and our special brother-in-law Warren is with us today. So.
How are you connected?
Yeah.
Are you connected?
Ormelin, Olson, Hotel, and then it would be Oscar and Gladys family.
Okay.
And Oscar was Charlie's brother?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And I'm another descendant of Oscar. My father's name was Quentin. He was the first cousin of Amy's. Yes. Oscar had Ormland as the oldest, Motels, and Quentin was second oldest as a son, and youngest son was Orwin, and he passed away some years back. But we live in Sioux Falls. This is my wife, Diane. You don't have to say. She's from the Hanson clan from Del Rapids. My mother was an only child, and my dad only had the one sister and the one brother, so my extended family were pretty limited. She has 90-some first cousins. So, really large, very large. It took me 20 years or more to learn everybody's name. Then at that point I was old enough to start forgetting.
Your last name has the E in it.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes, ours is Oleson. And let's see, I think Tilda was too. And Myrtle probably was. She passed away early now. But Charlie and Peter for sure changed their names. I heard about the time that Charlie went to the store. So he changed.
So did who?
Morris. Morris.
Yeah.
Olson. Rochelle. Washington.
And I have a family tree thing that's out on the Facebook for the family's Facebook page that you might take a look at if you're curious. That I put together just from all kinds of materials that different people in the family had shared. That goes like 4 or 5 generations back before Gustav. So you can see what the names were. You can see the naming conventions in Norway back in those days where all the sons were named after their father's first name with a son. So if your father's name was Ole, you got to be Oleson as your last name. His name might have been Gunderson, which it was for Gustav. His father's name was Gunderson, Ole Gunderson. And his father's name was Gundar Larson. And so it goes back like that. So you might get a kick out of seeing that. There's a little bit of the Paulson family tree on that chart too. So.
Where's Sue?
I was hoping you would skip it.
No.
I never was good at public speaking, but.
Well, I have to say though, Sue works at Good Samaritan where my mom is, and she came out to the car when I pulled up and said, "Oh, where are you coming from?" I said, "Texas, we're having a reunion," and she said, "Olson," and she said, "Oh, Amy," and she said, "Amy and my mother, right, are cousins," and I'm like, "Well, we're related. You're my cousin too. You got to come to the reunion." So.
There, she just said the whole thing.
Peter was Peter and Charlie were brothers, and of course Avis and all that was there. Peter was Charlie's brother, and Peter was my mom's dad. In that picture of the barn there, that my mom was born in that barn because when the ones that used to live in that barn moved away, my grandpa Peter and grandma Gertrude lived in there, and that's where my mom was born. So she always joked that she was born in a barn. But anyway, so it's been a pleasure working with, getting to see Amy every day. She's just a card. She's great. And that's how I'm related.
Awesome. Yeah. Good, everybody? Good. I know it's kind of emotional because I know we've got some loved ones that have passed before us, but what a legacy they have left. And in us to carry on. And we have some family that, for unfortunate reasons, weren't able to come, but this is just really great. So I'm glad everybody got to come, and we're gonna eat dinner.
I have one more thing to say. We need to give her a big hand.
There's a donation bag or box or whatever it is out there, everybody can contribute. She has done a lot of
That's not
work.
what it's about, but there is a bag out there. Also, there's packets of sunflower seeds. Obviously, you can see my theme was sunflowers, so be sure and take 1, 2, 3 packets of sunflower seeds and plant some and see if they'll grow. There's a cute little saying on the packet, so take one. We'll do door prizes maybe while we're eating. Are you okay if I give a brief blessing before we?
Yeah.
Our Heavenly Father, we're so thankful for the opportunity to be here together as Olsons, as descendants of Gustav and Merritt. What a blessing and what a legacy our family that has left before us has left for us, and what an opportunity for us to get together and meet some new loved ones and reconnect with ones we haven't seen. We ask that you bless this food for the nourishment of our bodies, and we ask that you please protect all of us as we depart today and return to our homes. And more importantly, Father, we're so thankful for all the blessings that you have bestowed upon us. These things we ask in your name. Amen. Amen. Let's eat. Don't everybody Okay, let's go by table. You can go on both sides. So why don't we start at these tables and go back, and you can go on both sides.
I thought you were friendly enough.
Oh, you want me to? I'll do that.
You're going to serve?
I gotta get a little yellow plate.
Preston, are you done with your plate? Are you done? Okay. Well, I'm going to get you another plate.
Cut out. You might have a picture there.
Was that when you got hurt?
Yeah. And I had my basketball shoes were in the trash can behind me. And you talk about Uncle Mike becomes a couch potato or something like that. And it was from you.
Oh, God.
I meant to bring it. We got in such a hurry. I forgot.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Susan said, that coat that you painted on with a Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse, I'm like, I don't remember this.
It came with a club to the forehead.
Yeah, meant to bring a few things.
First, you're going to dull your senses.
Yeah, we can go down. We saw it all.
What's in here?
She said at Christmas they had a toy thing.
She had like a jar.
I really didn't enjoy that part.
Did you hear it? So I bet that's similar. I don't know if that's really.
It's a winter coat, probably.
This is a switch that my grandmother wore. In her day, it was popular to add onto your hair if you didn't have a lot of hair. My mother also wore a switch. I believe this is old hair. Aww. Hair switch. Furs, spats.
Check that out.
The places whenever. Oh, just like the tracker places and.
You know,
Yeah, it's all about.
there might be a
Always
vending
trying to
machine.
sign
Yeah.
in on the trauma.
What happened up there?
Oh, that's nice.
Super spooky.
There's some weird looking dolls up there. There's some cool clothes. Some distributed medical instruments.
Yeah.
Like the dentist drill that you had to hand pump with your.
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't use that one.
The tennis drill that looks like the sewing machine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did she share, was Bianca with you and share what it was that key that the person who lived here at home? She said there's only one piece and there's something upstairs that.
It must have been in the.
It's in the bathroom.
Oh, it's in the bathroom? What was it?